All right, so our producer Romeo is feeling some pressure. He's kind of at a crossroads, really, and he feels like it's very specific to his culture. Because you're feeling you want to follow your dreams, but you're also feeling a lot of pressure to take care of your family.
Yeah, I wouldn't even say it's a cultural thing, more of a first generation immigrant in this country. I think like anybody who is a child of a first, like, parents who came to this country and they sacrificed so much to like give you this opportunity, you feel this guilt, and like
you need to pay him back.
Yeah, and like that's like one of the things I think I've told you guys before. Like I didn't want to go to college, like paying for the university and all that stuff. Like it wasn't in my plans. Like I knew I couldn't afford to. My immigration status here didn't allow me to go to school in Georgia. So like my expense for school was going to be so much that college wasn't planned. And then I get an opportunity for a scholarship that's like a full ride, and I didn't want to take it, but I felt the pressure and the guilt of I have to take this for my parents.
Mm-hmm. This is what they worked so hard to accomplish for me.
This is their thank you, Mm-hmm. And so it's just like my whole entire life. Like I think last week or 2 weeks ago, I was talking to you guys how I would love to be an actor, and I would love to chase that dream. And I think before I even went to school, I was working. I've been in a movie before, and I was working in the movie industry, and I think I was getting my foot in the door, and I had to pull back because I needed to chase a security, in a sense, a safety net.
For you or for the family?
For my family.
Okay.
That's the thing. Like I've realized lately in the last couple of years that I don't do things for myself. I look at the big picture of I'm doing this for my family. I'm doing this because they need me to succeed. I cannot fail. So it's like for example, like I've never felt like I had the option of a failure, right? Like I'm not a risk taker because of that. For like graduating college for a lot of people is such an honor, and it's such like oh my God, this is a dream. For me, it was just whatever, because I knew that I was gonna graduate no matter what. Like I knew I had to, right? So it was just like there was no I can drop out, or what if I fail this class? Like no, I had to make it work, figure out a way to make it work, because I don't have an option. Like I have to be a role model for my brother. I have to be a role model for all these family members that people use me as like, oh, Romeo's like doesn't have an immigration status and he's making it work. And the biggest issue that I realized was I'm my parents' retirement plan.
Now, is this
inflicted?
I don't even want to say inflicted, but yeah, I
imposed.
mean, imposed is right,
Yeah.
is what I'm looking for. Is this self-imposed, or have your parents said, look, your responsibility is to take care of the family. We need your help. Has there ever been that conversation? You just feel like
you just feel it. And I think if you ask anybody in my position, they don't necessarily say that. I think there might be some parents that do say that. My parents luckily have never done that, but I think it's like slight comments, like where they have to like you got to make it work. You got to put you got to look out for your brother, or you got to look out for me. And like they do slight comments that like you kind of think like, oh yeah, like I have to make it work. I can't try to go be a struggling actor when I can just follow my career path that I study for in school and have that plan that it's actually going to work out, in a sense where it's more of a safety way of like I'm gonna be successful, right? And I think
you're going with a sure bet because
Yeah.
you know that's going to pay and that's going to take care of people.
yeah, and I think like even if I would ask my parents like, would you rather me be successful or happy? They don't see the difference between that.
They think if you are successful, then you are happy.
Yeah. So like that's that like
and their definition of success is money.
pretty much.
Okay.
I think for like at least in my family, and like that's one of the reasons why I like focus so much on money and like why money is so important to me, because it's just like
It's been ingrained in you.
Yeah, and it's the fact that I'm my parents' retirement plan. They don't have an option, like because of their immigration status as well. They don't get any help from the government. So when they're done working, I have to be the one that pays their stuff. So I have to make things work, and that's where like this pressure of like my like being a first generation immigrant comes. And I even like, for example, like I quit therapy because of this. You know what I mean? Because as I was going through therapy, I'm realizing all these things that my parents were doing, even though they weren't doing it on purpose. I started like hating, like getting,
resentment.
Yes. And like I was angry. Like anytime I would go home and like I'll just look at my mom and like, you're the reason I have anxiety. And it's like that like felt so disgusting in me at the fact that I was getting upset at them. And so I like that's the reason why I backed out of therapy. And like I lied in a sense to myself and said it was because she was young or this and the other, but it was just because I was growing like this resentment towards them. But I know they didn't do it on purpose.
So this responsibility you have to take care of your parents and your family is greater than you trying to follow your own dream.
Yeah.
Yeah. Mary can totally feel what you're saying. Hey, Mary.
Hi, good morning.
Morning.
Hey, I just wanted to say, I'm also a first generation immigrant, and I totally feel like what you're saying. Because I used to feel like that the same way exactly coming out of high school. I had like all these big expectations as far as you need to graduate, like you need to go to college, you need to find a good job and be successful because that's basically what we came here for. But it's just a matter of sitting down, like really thinking about what you want to do with your life. And, you're always going to be there for your family, no matter what path you take. It's just really letting them know, hey, I might not be a doctor or a lawyer or this successful business person, but I'm still pursuing my dreams and I'm still a better person. And, thanking them for doing all the sacrifices they did to bring you to this country and raise you to be who you are.
Thanks, Mary. That's a tough pressure, man.
It is.
That's just tough.
Yeah.
So what's next?
I don't know. I have no idea. I mean, it's just really making it work and like trying to. I think I'm doing a good job here. Like being in the entertainment world, but also being like in a way successfully like established and working my way there. So I think like I'm still finding. I think that's my struggle. I'm riding the safety line.
If you want to reach out to Romeo, you can do so at thebertshow.com. We'd love to hear your comments. I'd love to read some of them on the show also.
Yeah.
So hit him up at Romeo at thebertshow.com.
The Bert Show.